I've been working on some digital art, and I miss doing more arty bits. So I want to come up with a plan where I don't feel like, because at the moment I don't know what to sit down and create. There's too much choice. So my brain goes, none of them are a good option. So I do nothing. But I would like to think of some things I'd like to make as like home decor and stuff. Hey Kid Flex, how are you doing? And then I can bring that plan into the stream and we can have an art stream occasionally as well. Right, so let's get July all sorted. So we've got our cover page, we've done our calendar, done our month at a glance and our trackers. Now we are on to our weekly setup. Oh, I remember why I was recording. My personal bullet journal setup for YouTube. That's what I was doing. Because my brain just completely forgot the last couple of days. So our boxes are 5.5 by 4. Just grab my eraser. Alright, so we are doing 5.5 by 4. Is it 1 down? And 4. And then do the same on this page. Mark 5.5. And then 4. 1 down. And 4. One down. And 4. do is our first gap will be at the bottom, I think. Just lightly sketch out the boxes. I will just do this side. There we go. Right. For the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to do them in a grey. That'll be Monday. This one will be Tuesday. And then Wednesday. There we go. And then do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and they are 28, 29, and 30. So 28th, 29th, and 30th. Now we'll just do the other boxes. those days where I woke up super tired and my brain doesn't want to function. There we go. Now, I need to try and do a very tiny amount of the ink pad. And I don't know if I've got anything small enough. Although I've done that there, we'll do that again here. I want to keep things as uniform as I can. And there we go. And then we'll go in and do that's Wednesday, Thursday the 1st, Friday the 2nd, Saturday the 3rd, and Sunday the 4th, and then Monday the 5th, Tuesday the 6th, Wednesday the 7th, Thursday the 8th, Friday the 9th, Saturday the 10th, and Sunday the 11th. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. I hope you're good. There we go. And then I'm just going to take need something to squish it on. Squishy, squishy. A bit of paper. Always nice and juicy. And then one more. gonna keep drawing a little leaves and coloring them in. Another little line. Just trying not to put my hand in wet paint. One more little leaf. Come on. Okay. Now on to weeks 3 and 4. Okay. Alright. So again we're gonna do our boxes that are 5.5. I think I'd remember by now. Yeah, 5.5 by 4. There we go. So that'd be 5.5. 5.5. And then 4 down 1, 4 down 1, 4 again, down 1, and 4. And then the same on this page. Do 5.5. 5.5. By 4. Down 1. 4. And down 1. And 4. And down 1. And 4. Okay, let's sketch out our boxes. That's 2. and 7. That's 1. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And 7. And then we'll grab a green pen. And we'll outline each box. Then go down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, and 7. And then we'll do the same again on this page. Hey Trash Panda, how are you doing? How was your weekend? There's 1 and 2. 3 and 4. You're okay, very sleepy. Oh, I'm sorry your sleep's a bit rough at the moment. But naps are never a bad thing. And rest is productive. But hopefully your sleep sorts itself out. It's 5 and 6 and 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Welcome back, Dragon. Oh, cream-filled chocolate frosted donuts. They sound tasty as fuck. You don't have enough to share? With the class, but I have to share with the teacher. They sound so tasty. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They are so tasty. I'm glad. Okay, so that was the 11th. So this will be the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and the 25th. Stop my desk from creaking. Okay, let's do desk is getting very noisy. Tightening the screws hasn't seemed to have helped. But this desk is quite old now, so I'm not surprised. There we go. Then we'll take our silver Posca pen. So you had an awesome idea for a dragon. Wait, words. So you had an awesome idea for drawing in a boat. Basically, Monster Hunter reversed. He hunts humans. I was just thinking Cubone. Just add a rib cage to Cubone and some wings. Drop down. Welcome back, Rosso. Happy lurking. I appreciate the lurk. Dragon, you could still take inspiration from Cubone. At least then there's some sort of like reference image. That you could use. I think you like Cubone. Unfortunately, Dragon, in today's society, there's not really an original idea left in terms of creative arts, especially. Like with music, someone's always done it the same but slightly different. With art, with everything. Did you make those squares in your journal, or did you find one that comes like that? Zone Vortex, I did them. So this is a blank dot grid notebook. I have added everything to it. And these squares are 5.5 centimeters by 4 centimeters. No problem. I'm always happy to answer any questions. I think the important thing to remember is yes, there's not really any original base ideas out there, and it's more than okay to take inspiration. Just never copy and call it your own. That is scummy behavior. So don't do that. Oh yes, dragon, do that. I want to see. If you're learning, the best way to learn is to copy. If you want to post it, always credit the original artist. To be fair, any paint markers would be dragon. They've all got generally the same formulas in them. Now I wouldn't recommend going in with insanely dirt cheap ones. You still want some level of quality. Oops. There. But as long as you prime something, you can put anything on top of it. And that doesn't just go for millions. Like say you've got like this table, for example, under this like wood effect that's on the table, which is just a contact paper, the IKEA plastic fake wood stuff, as long as you put the right primer on top of it, you can put anything else on top. Yeah, Temu's a weird one. I don't trust Temu enough to order anything for myself. I'm not gonna lie. It's the same with like the TikTok shop. I don't trust it. Why are things so cheap? And then obviously you've got the safety aspect of it. Well, that's cool. But with the, especially early on, I think with Temu, the reports of people having their information stolen. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. That's always kind of worried me. But then with the amount of people that do it and are fine, I think for me when it comes to art supplies, I don't quite like to take a chance. Yeah, of course, dragon. Like it is a accessible option, especially if they're good quality. But it's that dice roll of whatever you order, is it going to be usable? And yes, I'm a bit of a art supply snob. I will admit that. But I think that's just because of the amount of research and just art supplies I've used in the past. Although it doesn't always pay to be a bit snobby with art supplies. Because I do have, like my watercolour palettes for example, are Winsor & Newton, and they're not the expensive Winsor & Newton. I know, right, Dragon? I can't help myself. I think for me, because I've always wanted to make money from my art and be creative for a living, and with things like that, if you're wanting to sell originals, you need to make sure the mediums that you're using are of a certain quality, otherwise your artwork won't last. So for example, these pens, they have archival ink. No, the camera doesn't want to do it. So they have archival ink. They are waterproof and fade proof, which means if I was to do any artwork involving these, then they won't fade over time if they're on someone's wall. They will obviously, if it's hit by sunlight and things, everything fades from the sun because the sun bleaches things. This will fade a lot slower, and the longevity of your art will last. Whereas if you're just a hobbyist, that doesn't overly matter as much. But if your aim is to sell, or even if you want to make something to put on your own wall and you want it to last, you want to make sure that it's archival. There's other terminologies, I think, for certain paints and pigments, which have left my brain. But that's just something to keep in mind. That while you're learning, whatever is accessible is great. If you want to move into selling, you'll have to up the quality. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Susie, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. How are you doing, hon? I am good, thank you. You've been learning art for 40 years, if we're technical. True. And then Saturday. And then we're going from the 25th. So that's the 26th. 27th. 29th, 30th, and then just confirm it is the 31st. 31st. You're good, I'm glad. Thank you, Susie. I was thinking, because it's not going to be long before we get this done, and then I need to think of a theme for August. I think that's the hardest part about continuously working on this channel, is trying to think of different themes and colour schemes and stuff. And then also trying to think of things or themes to do in my own bullet channel. Oh, I can show you guys once we've done this one, because I'm in the process of recording mine for YouTube. I can show you what I've done so far. And then we'll go in with a slightly lighter. Oh, my tummy's starting to grumble. I always get so hungry during streams, even though I ate before. And then this page is going to be kind of decorative, but I'm going to try and leave a gap in the middle for kind of maybe notes or anything else that someone might want reasons for. Around the edge. And then the darker one. are not quite autumnal, but it's coming to the end of summer. Hey Abby, I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm glad, I'm glad. I hope you're good. Oh, I'm glad, Abby, I'm glad you're well. Oh, it makes me so happy to hear. I'm so glad. There we go. What could we do? August. No worries, Dragon. Happy lurking. I appreciate the work. Let's do so one at the bottom here. Thank you, Skull. I haven't stretched in a little while. This goes for anyone else who hasn't moved for a minute. I do pre-warn you, you may hear some body clicks. I am a cracky person, so I apologise if you don't like it. But you should also have a stretch. Oh, that was both my shoulders, both my elbows, and my wrists. There we go. How are you, Skull? Welcome in. just on top here. And one more little leaf, just that. And then to this side, I'm going to use slightly thicker Poscapin if it's not already dead. No, there we go. And then we'll do that. There we go. What are you guys having for dinner tonight? I need some inspiration. I'm not very inspired at the moment, food-wise. Oh, I might do ramen actually. Ramen's always tasty. And I do quite like a good ramen. I do a chicken ramen. Got the food shop tomorrow, so there's not much left in the cupboards. It's always easier to figure out what you want to eat when you're hungry. Because as much as they say don't do food shopping when you're hungry, if I don't come home with much food at all. July.